Hello, I'm Julian Crocker, the County Superintendent of Schools for San Luis Obispo County. Welcome to this edition of our County Schools Update. Well, the topic today is effective teacher evaluation with an emphasis on best practices. Well, a discussion of teacher evaluation is often met with very strong feelings, often reflecting what I would say are 2 points of view. One perspective, often held by observers and reformers of public education, is that the evaluation of teachers, particularly in California, is weak and particularly not effective in removing incompetent or unprofessional teachers from the classroom. This point of view was recently reinforced by the Vergara lawsuit decision, in which a Superior Court judge in Los Angeles ruled that the present aspects of the teacher evaluation system that are in California state law are actually unconstitutional, since they have the effect of denying equal access to effective teachers for certain groups of students, particularly those who live in poverty or who are English language learners. Well, we've talked about this legal action previously and noted that it may well be 2 years before either the courts or the state legislature settles these issues. So, teacher evaluation will continue to be a news item as this particular item moves through the courts. Well, the other point of view regarding teacher evaluation, usually attributed to the California Teachers Association, which is the teachers union representing teachers in California, is that the current evaluation requirements are simply protection for teachers to ensure that they receive due process before any adverse job action is taken by a school district. This point of view characterizes the current requirements for teacher evaluation as only fair and reasonable assurances that teachers will not lose their jobs for superficial reasons. So today, I will briefly review some current best practices in the evaluation of teachers that exist in our county, even within the current legal restrictions. So, the first best practice is there should exist some essential elements of an effective teacher evaluation system. Now, each school district has its own formal evaluation system for teachers, much of which is agreed to through the collective bargaining process and agreement in the school district. Well, here are 4 essentials. The first one, an agreement that the purpose of evaluation is to improve classroom instruction. Now, this may seem obvious, but the common viewpoint is that the only purpose of teacher evaluation is to dismiss ineffective teachers. Obviously, this point of view means that an adversarial relationship will probably exist between the teacher and the evaluator, who is usually the school principal. However, once it is agreed to and established through both practice as well as discussion that the purpose of evaluation is really to assist and improve teaching performance, then a much healthier relationship is established. A critical element in establishing this agreement is the involvement of the teaching staff in the adoption of the evaluation process for the district. A second essential, an agreement on an instructional framework or rubric about exactly what is effective teaching. This means that the school district has clearly described the elements of effective classroom instruction based on research that leads to student progress, and has described these elements in observable teaching behaviors. For example, effective questioning has to include a mix of thinking skills from analysis and making judgments about the content, as well as more factual questions. So when an observer comes into a classroom, does that person see a full range of questions being used by the teacher? And these questions can be observed by an outside evaluator. The third element, a summary judgment or scoring or rating system needs to be present that differentiates levels of proficiency for the teacher. This is equivalent to a grading system, if you will, in which the evaluator makes a concluding judgment as to the level of proficiency of the teacher. This judgment must be made only after frequent and in-depth classroom observations, followed by conferences and discussions with the teacher. Most scoring systems in our county use three categories, if you will, such as exemplary, proficient, and unsatisfactory. A critical point here is that most teachers will be in the proficient area, and a relatively few will probably be exemplary, although we certainly want everyone to strive to be exemplary. But if everyone is indeed marked exemplary, it runs the problem of the mindset in which everyone is above average. And the final element is an emphasis on continual professional development and assistance. The evaluation system is not a once-a-year occurrence, but rather should only be part of a continual system of coaching and assistance based on the instructional framework. In order for most schools in our county to fulfill this expectation, either a mentor teacher or an instructional coach will probably be needed to assist the evaluator or the principal. We must remember that the effectiveness of teachers is one of the most important influences for student success. So anything that we can do to reinforce effective teaching leads to improved student success. So in summary, the subject of teacher evaluation is sometimes a flashpoint with both parents and teachers, but under proper conditions, it can be a pathway to improved instruction and student performance. Thank you.